So, Gotham Knights, right? What can really be said about it? I mean, it's not. I don't want to go jump into it and immediately say, "Oh man, this was a bad game." It was just a standard game, an extremely pedestrian game. Like you just fucking like Walmart made it or something. I don't know really how to quantify it. But there's so many aspects of this game and of the superhero game genre where there is massive amounts of potential. And that's why so many people are so drawn to me. Like, oh hell yeah, man. I see these superhero movies, at least before all this garbage that was out now. And then you're like, oh man, you're just pumped. You're ready to come home, man, and play a game. And these games have all this market to eat that up, to be like, oh man, so many people are so hyped from all the superhero movie crap, comic books, whatever. They're just ready to play. We should just be eating it up. I mean, look at No Hero Academia. Why do you think it was so popular? Because they just came out during the superhero phase. There's nothing great about that freaking anime. Yeah. I don't know, that's another story. Gotham Knights. So there's several aspects that are just lackluster about the game. The degree of upgrades, the combat system, the story, the class crap, customization. We're just gonna get into all of it. Let's start first with the whole story. All right, let's just go ahead and break that open right now. It's freaking weak sauce. What is up with all these games coming out and then the story is just negligible? It's just like 2 hours worth. For a game like Resident Evil, that's fine. They're expecting you to speedrun the crap out of it anyway, but this game is supposed to have some damn story to it, right? Where the hell is that at? You can't sit here and tell me in the same breath that this is supposed to be a game that you can play single player, whatever. It doesn't take, co-op doesn't take away from the single player. That's why so many people are afraid to do co-op. They're so afraid because they feel like it takes away from the experience. Both the developers and then the players, they both facilitate this ridiculous mindset like a cooperative narrative can't be made. And I'm one of those proponents where I want to see more cooperative narratives. That's what's one of the reasons I was excited for this game. I'm like, oh yeah, it's made almost for co-op. I mean, it's drop in, drop out. They've been talking about co-op from the get-go. Hell yeah, man. It was the main thing missing from the Arkham games. And then this game comes out and the co-op player just doesn't even exist throughout the whole story. You couldn't even put them in the cutscenes. Hell, Dead Space 3 achieved that off the top of my, just games off the top of my head.
Oh. Jesus, Kaufman. This is hopeless. Alpha Niner, this is Whiskey 250. Alpha Niner, this is Whiskey 250. Serrano, do you read me?
Tim! Oh, thank God! Did you find it?
Find it. Doc, I'm not even sure what we're looking for.
Just there! Follow the waypoint that sent you. I can't tell you anymore. Just get there! Do you hear me? You have to...
What?
Oh, it's lost!
What?
Dang it! Follow the waypoint. We've been following it for 3 hours and ain't found squat.
So, like, you couldn't even have given us that. You couldn't just have somebody playing Red Hood or whatever, and then they're just in the background. Batgirl's there, and Harley Quinn acknowledges both of them. It's not like your story was, like, so massive that you were like, oh, we can't take the time to film cutscenes with each character in it, and all these variations. It's not that long. And I just feel like it's not that hard. Go the extra mile to make something great that people want to play. Who is sitting around the table like, you know what? Yep. Hell yeah. You know what? That's something that people are going to want to play. What an excellent game. So much replayability, so much attention to detail. When we do our story, the Batman family, they didn't even say it right, the Batman family. God, that was so annoying every time you had to hear that. There's no Gotham without Batman family. And then it's like, anytime you get those stupid cutscenes, there's like 5 of them for each people. It's not even that much. It's not even that much. I think I had like 3 tops with Batgirl, 3 or 4. I don't even remember. And then they do this stupid flash to white crap whenever it happens. Like, what is this nonsense? Why don't you just have Alfred walk over somewhere and just be standing there, or already standing where he's supposed to be standing. Why does he even need a flash to white and be in a different spot in the first place? It was so stupid. It was just dumb. I'm like, oh, why am I getting blinded right now? And then it's just, oh, just to shift Alfred to a different location because you're done talking to him about Harley Quinn. Okay. That was necessary. Thank you. Just, the story was just awful. Again, the Court of Owls meant nothing. What a ridiculous red herring. And that's why none of the story was leaked, because anybody with an ounce of a brain cell above Patrick's star would have been able to figure out that it was all about the League of Shadows. Heck, if you were smart, you could have just slowly cookie crumbed into that, and then had a good DLC of where now you finally taken out and bested the Court of Owls, but because you took out one juggernaut, another juggernaut slides into its place. There's not even villains in the game. They're negligible. You got 3 of them. We're talking about Batman here. The guy with probably the best roster of villains in DC. And if you want to go a little bit further, you can start arguing in known superhero-dom. Think Spider-Man would have something to say about that, but you can argue that Batman has some of the best villain lineups, at very least in DC. And they gave us 3 of them. 3 of them. And even then, that's just, what does that mean? What did that account for in the game? Harley Quinn is over in like 3 missions. You fight her at Blackgate. You do the little doctor thing where she's in the stage or whatever, and then you fight her in the hospital. Over. Freeze, like 4 missions. Clayface is barely in the game. You do one thing where it's just Clay guys running around, you beat them up, then you fight Clayface once, fight him again, over. And that's it. That's it for the game. That's it for the game. Unbelievable, man. I don't even know really what to do. And then you get crap like this that was said. There was just so many lies that were said, mainly including this one right here.
Talk about villain nights. We sometimes refer to them as epic villain crime, and it's because we always wanted the villains to be menacing Gotham City. We didn't want it to be a case of, oh, I'm going to go into this sort of bubble dungeon universe and Gotham somewhere else, and I'm just engaging with them here.
You serious?
He actually said that garbage. That is far from the truth. You literally go to your freaking challenges, you hold the button and load into that mission. You can't free roam Gotham City while Elliott Center is freaking frozen in ice and do whatever you want. You can't leave the Belfry and then see from afar like, oh crap, what the heck is going on? There's lightning storms everywhere. If that was the truth, it would be affecting the whole city, and you would have had to drive all the way to Elliott Center. You'd have been like, Belfry, where's this coming from? And then Alfred could have got on there all wheezy voice. It's coming from Elliott Tower, Elliott Center. And then you're like, oh shit, okay, then you drive over there. No, you load into the mission, and then you're in that mission. If you want to back out, you literally leave the instance. Leave the instance. That's not a part of the world. That's outside of Gotham City. Moron. Dummy. Jesus, tap dancing, good googly Christ. And then, so now, so you get nothing. You get nothing with the story. Your co-op partner doesn't exist. The story's short, bland, and stupid. It's a big fat red herring, and then it doesn't make any sense. You know immediately out the gate, because they are just throwing Talia al Ghul in your face over and over and over and over again. And I try to be optimistic and be like, you know what? Maybe the League of Shadows will be a good DLC. Maybe that's what's coming next. Maybe DLC is next. No, I didn't realize that the Court of Owls was just a turd in the bowl. You're supposed to just get up, wipe, and flush, because here comes the League of Shadows. The Court of Owls was literally in there for about 4 story missions tops, and then it immediately turns into freaking League of Shadows. Next thing you know, you're just fighting ninjas. Like, the game was just a huge disappointment in the story aspect. Mainly, still my biggest gripe is because the way they treated the co-op player. That was just dumb, stupid, and irrelevant. And I don't know why anybody around a table thought that was going to be enjoyable, that anybody thought that was fun to not exist in the story. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to be like, you know what, no, maybe nobody around the round table of geniuses was like, you know what, maybe we should have it where the second player's in the cutscenes. At the very least. Maybe we can have it where they can open a door, where they look at each other and say some things sometimes. No. No, that was just a big fat no. Okay. So then we move on to combat. And everybody was talking about how Arkham Knights and all their games are just pressing X. And you can argue that. I know there's the funny donkey video. I love that video. It's funny where he's just pressing X on the controller and fighting and everything else. But realistically, there was a degree of approaches that you had to combat in that game. If a guy is coming at you, you can throw a freeze grenade, you can flip over him, spray some spray gel, hook him with the bat claw, pull him in for a clothesline. You can throw the batarang at somebody that's shooting guns or anything else at you. You can shoot the electric tool and shock somebody. You can stun them with your cape and perform a beatdown, flip over them, push them somewhere else if you're trying to redirect them somewhere else. And that's before you even start getting into the variations of takedowns that you had, taking apart people's weapons, breaking their arms, doing the double takedowns, triple, double counters. Not having the counter system in this game just to try to remove yourself from the Arkham series was just dumb. And you had people immediately running defense for the game saying, well, you gotta divorce yourself from it being a Arkham game. It's not an Arkham game. SpongeBob. Okay, who cares? It's gonna be compared to it anyway. And just because something does something great doesn't mean you can emulate it. I don't understand why there's such a negative context in gaming to just say having somebody see something that works great and then being like, dude, that's a perfect system. Let's go ahead and utilize that system in our game, tweak it a little bit to fit us better or what we think might be a better version of that system, and then run with it. There's no reason why you shouldn't have had a great counter system paired with a great evade system. And then you got rid of gadgets. Again, no ingenuity on the development team. They were just like, oh, fuck it. Walmart Game Studios, we're just going to do this shit real cookie cutter. Because the first thing you should have did was think about how do 4 minds come together to think of gadgets outside of anything that Batman might think of. You didn't think of any degree of gadgets. You got at least 2 of them that are tech savvy in Robin and Batgirl, and they just thought of nothing. Literally, her revelation after years of being Batman's protege. Because mind you, she's already been Oracle. So she had a moment where she was Batgirl, gets shot, becomes Oracle, and becomes Batgirl. And this whole time, not only until Batman is dead and in the ground, did she look at the cape and be like, oh, I have a cape too. I think I can go. I think I can go. You can't be serious, man. Her big revelation is, oh, I can glide with my cape like Batman. Really? Really? What is happening here? What is this game? What is this game? Who thought that was a good idea? So you limit everything because I didn't find the momentum abilities even useful. They just didn't have much practicality. Like I said, I just listed all the stuff that you can do in Arkham, and they had its own ways. A guy gets frozen in place, or somebody gets stunned. You knock somebody down, you break a guy's arm, you disable his weapon, things like that. And then there are aspects where I don't understand why each one of these people are Batman's protege. So there's a lot of things that they have that Batman would have. There's a lot of moves that they would have that Batman would have. AKA, one great example is they all have bat claws. Yet only one character was made to utilize that, and she doesn't even utilize it well. Not as good as it was in the Arkham games. Bat clawing and pulling somebody into a clothesline with Batgirl and Batman and anybody else, everybody had some type of degree of it, especially if they had the bat claw. Robin would pull himself to you and kick you. Everything, they could have had those kind of versions for that for each character because each one of them has it. So it didn't make any sense. And then you get in a realm where that's why the class system, in my opinion, is kind of the only word I can think of quickly is archaic in today's gaming, because all it does is really lock you behind it. And I blame that mostly on the aspects of PvP, because when you have PvP, everybody wants everything to be so balanced that you can't go all in on a character. You can't just do everything to it. And I understand that some people might be like, well, there's just too much in, say, Red Hood's kit, so nobody wants to play any of the other characters. But still, it doesn't matter if you go all in with every character. You're doing the best that you can for every character. You think of everything that Batgirl can do, everything that Nightwing can do, everything that Robin can do, etc. Then people are still going to gravitate towards playing other characters just because they have that preference. And they can go all in. And then when certain people do play characters that most don't play as, then other people see them in action, then it opens that character up to be like, oh crap, I didn't even know Robin can do that. I didn't know Nightwing can do that. And then more people start playing other characters. But when you dummy this down to the biggest guy on the team who happens to use freaking guns is the tank. And he's supposed to what? He's supposed to attract everybody to fight him. He's with the guns in the damn back line. Oh, let me be the tank, guys. I'll take all the damage, even though all you guys are gonna run on the front line with melee weapons. Let me stand in the back and be like, hey, hit me first. Yeah, as they run past your 3 compatriots that are already standing there next to them, they're just gonna run past them and then target you. I mean, it was dumb, and I don't really think they should have did it. I don't know why they did that. So that dumbs it down. I know there was like one momentum ability. I personally played background. There was like one momentum ability I didn't even unlock because you had to get like 20 kills with your drone, and I didn't even do it because the drone was just so useless. I never used it. I would 90% of the time I forgot that even existed. The only moves I even tried was the one where she jumps down and pounds the ground, boom, 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 it blows up, and then I did like beatdown. But then like I didn't get to use beatdown as much as I probably would have, because every time that happens, it's like it's only best when there's like 1 or 2 guys available. Because everybody else is just gonna keep hitting you. You gotta dodge a gunfire. You gotta dodge a Molotov. You gotta dodge a drone. So you're just dodging all the time. So combat had no variety to it. It was literally just clickety clack on X. Let me press X all damn day. Hold X sometimes, and then every now and then again, I'm gonna just press a Y. Throw a Y in there for fun, and that was it. And then all your co-op partner can do is press X with you. Now you're just 2 idiots pressing X. That was the game from level 1 to 40. Press X. Hold X occasionally when somebody got a shield. When you got a fat giant woman attacking you. I guess I'm glad for the diversity, but that was still dumb. The bat cycle, no upgrades to it whatsoever. No use to the story functions. There's like one mission. They have like one premeditated crime where the people drive away. And they're driving away. And then you could chase them. The mission is ridiculous, too. The van is insanely fast, so it's hard to catch up with them. You don't feel like you're on a superior vehicle. They're outrunning you, for the most part, in an ice cream truck. And they're just jamming over this ice cream truck. You finally catch up. You don't even use... I'm sitting here pressing Y, trying to do the range attacks. That's useless. You don't even use that. So then the people get there. You just drive up next to the door, press X, pull them out. Done. That's it. I saw no other application or use of the bat cycle outside of that. They didn't have, outside of skins, they didn't really have too much skins. A lot of color customization, sure, that was great, but anything else, nope. So they didn't even make a game where that was applicable to anything. So that was just dumb. Then you get to customization. I've always been a proponent where customization should just divorce itself from stats. So that way you can at least look how you want to look. You're playing a game here. You want to look your best. But you can't even really do that. And this game did like this weird little 50-50 thing. I was under the impression that what they meant is that if I have an outfit that doesn't have great stats, but I like its look and I customize it nice, I can turn that into a transmog among the transmogs they made themselves. Then I can apply that to my look so I can still look how I want. That is not the case. You can do little customizations on the outfit that you're wearing, and or you can use transmogs that can't be customized for some reason. So ultimately, the system itself was just stupid. I personally wanted to just use the default Batgirl look, but can't use that. Then I liked the knighthood look overall, but then I didn't like the cow. I thought that was dumb. Can't customize it. For some reason, can't do it. So it's like, when I get down to suggestions for this game, I think first and foremost, the fact that everybody was making complaints about the city being, dead or whatever, I don't think that was just subjectivity, which is just extremely dominant in today's gaming. There's no objectivity whatsoever, and gamers just drink it up. So that's why we get these kind of games that we get. But the fact of the matter is there was no stakes, and that becomes the problem with superhero games, is that there are no stakes. So what you realistically need is you need things to happen that other people and the player itself can realize, oh man, if I don't do this, then this happens. If I don't do that, then that happens. I'm personally a big proponent of doing the route system, kind of like, as far as I can only think of, it's like a Star Fox 64, where you have A and B, and you have different things to do in between those to get from A to B, so that way your route is a little different. But then that's what superhero games need. I take the Harley Quinn stage for example. You have one moment where she's out there convincing all these people to take her drug or whatever, her little control chip, and then she has the bombs planted. As the player, we should have been able to choose, and then that choice affects the next thing. So you can either choose that the building is more important, maybe because the bombs can subsequently hurt and damage other buildings next to them, and then that goes into needing to save people like that. That would be a great decision. Where like if you decide, and these things have proponents to them, let's say I decide that it's more beneficial to save the people from corruption, so I let the bombs go off. These bombs going off destroy that building, but they equally damage the buildings next to it. So this leads into an additional part of the mission now, where Harley Quinn's laughing and it gets away, and it makes sense now that she gets away, because now that these other buildings are damaged, I got to go and save the people out of those respectively. But because I did that, when I go and I fight her at the hospital, she isn't reinforced by a bunch of mind-controlled civilians. Instead, what you can do is, because the cops know I was there doing that, and with the subsequent explosions, you can say that they cracked down and they didn't help me much get into Elliott Center, and that was a lot harder for Montoya to do. There you go. These kind of things are better. These kind of things flow better. Now you have stakes as the player. You even add replayability by doing that, because now I can replay again and be like, well, this time I'll make a different option. I'll choose a different option and see what happens. No, none of that is here. It's all extremely freaking cookie cutter. It's just a bare bones game. The city literally acknowledges nothing that you do. You can literally go through touching no premeditated crimes whatsoever, and then and you'll still be riding along on your bat cycle, and then one person is just like, hey, bad girl, you're doing a good job, keep it up. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what the hell are you talking about? I haven't done crimes in like 4 nights. Oh, you're saying that just because I'm on chapter 6. No, that's stupid. That's dumb, and that shouldn't be how it is. What you should have did is probably put like a bar system. Just put like a bar system in there. Some type of gauge where it's like you're ignoring crimes. So the next night that you come out, usually it's like 8 premeditated crimes every night. Now it's like 15, 16, because you've just been ignoring them. So they're just stacking up. And then that morale bar of the villains is going higher. And then the higher that bar is the reaction that the civilians give you. Now when I'm riding on the bat cycle, somebody should be like, useless ass Batgirl driving around doing nothing. My job closed because some freaks blew up the building and caught it on fire. You suck. Like, I would be like, damn, let me go stop some of these crimes. I don't want to get told I suck. No, none of that is in there. So just for this game, another superhero game that came out and it's pedestrian. It's saved by the co-op story, even though it's annoying at the same time because the co-op is the co-op player is ignored. I have to give this game like a 3 out of 5. Just pedestrian. I don't know if they're going to do more in the series, and that's what these games try to do, more in the series, but we need to hold these people accountable for these dog shit games, because it's all over the place. It's all over the place, and it's just going to keep happening until we stop letting it happen. And I say we, but really I'm meaning you guys, because shit, you know, I don't know. I blame myself too. I blame myself with you guys. I blame myself with you guys. All right, just 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. If I keep talking about it, it's going to be 2 out of 5. So 3 out of 5. I'm done.